Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nukum Chane. Today's my topic is comparison between Robert Frost and William Wordsworth. This is my information. William Wordsworth and Robert Frost. William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth was an English romantic poet who, with Samuel Taylor and Coleridge, helped to launch the Romantic Age in English literature. With their joint publication Lyrical Ballad 1798, he was one of the founder English Romanticism and the one its most central figure and important intellect. Wordsworth's deep love of the beauty's forms in the natural world was established earlier. The British poet laureate in honorable position appointed the government 1843. Robert Frost. Robert Frost was an American poet. His work, intellect, published in England before it was published the United States, known for his realistic depictions of rural life and his command of American fluent speech. Foster frequently write about setting from rural life in the New England in the early 20th century, using them to examine the complex social and philosophical themes. Frequently honored during his lifetime, Foster is the only poet devises the four crucibles of poetry. He was awarded Congressional Gold Medal in 1960 for his poetic works on July 2022 in 1961. First was named Poet Laureate for Vermont. Difference between William Wordsworth and Robert Frost. First, William Wordsworth, the former of the Romantic movement in the England. The Wordsworth poetry begins in the delight and the ends of delight. Wordsworth is genuinely simple, and his poetry blend words and blend thoughts. He is blend both the manners and matters. Is the use of the subjects in the poems. Poetry are universal and true of people. Like for example, of the nature related the woods, flowers, branches, birds, etc. The Faust is often designed by the student and critics as the American political pulse. Faust poetry uses his own words, bring into delight and the ends of wisdom. Faust is a deep bluntly, and his poetry contain plain words and complex thoughts. Their subject of the poetry are local or religions. Their poetry spring from the Pacific area. He wrote about the ordinary peoples, farmers, and the worker are the subject of this poem. Similarity between and both work. He is widely believed that Wordsworth extended profound influence of the force in the writing his poem, especially his on nature. In philosophy and style, Force and Wordsworth appear both similar and dissimilar. Both the poet consumingly avoided the rhetorical extravagance of the Shakespeare and Grand Lucas of John Milton's. First was able to capture the natural tone of human conversation. His poem Boy's Week captured his reader's attention not only for the theme but he also for a blend of the explanation, ideas, emotion, and feelings, and are compressed in ordinary speeches. The same is the true of the Wordsworth. Both the democratic in style as they speak to men in the tongue all the men know because they are a man. It is the interested of interested in the noting the relation between the nature and human. It is true that both poets of the fine soul and delight in nature. The poem of Branch offers the best example of how the poet blend observation in the imagination, fact, and fancy, feelings, and wisdom. Forst is an environmentalist, and Wordsworth is a pantheist in the New Hampshire. Forst is the more the sensibility I am, the more I seem to want my mountains while. It is the line of the both are the is the both are the optimism in their attitude of this life. As the Jonathan Swift had all complained against the humankind. First had all the complaint against the nature, but still would the sick recourse to the nature when he becomes a very human life. In the poem branch, he says the earth the right place of love. I do not know where it is likely to go better. The poetry of the first was the recorded of the personal experience in this poem, and to the Wordsworth is what the was the image of man and nature. The object is truth, not individually, and the local but general, and the octave, in the octave, not a standing external testimony by a cave, a live into the hurt by the passion. Though Wordsworth poetry is a direct revelation of the reality and aesthetic various of the human performance, to the Wordsworth nature was a source of learning ideas, powers, and values. The nature was the fountain and inspiration, the soul in the time of the mental aerobic. The, the nature appears to him, his guardian, nurse, and teacher. In these times to despair and the suffering, nature acts. The spring moral strength and the confidence for the psychic survival in the nature. Wordsworth felt the presence that disturbed him with choice and intuitive thought. Poems. I wandered lonely as a cloud, daffodils and the fire and ice. The poem Wandered Lonely as the Cloud is written by William Wordsworth and The Fire and Ice written by Wordsworth. The Wandered Only Lonely as a cloud, the poem for a six-line stanza of this poem follow the curtain couplets rhyme since the A, B, C. Each line maintain a iambic treatment. This is a simple poem, one one of the lowest and the most famous in the Wordsworth can know revised is the familiar subject of the nature and memory. Is the time with the particularly spared musically equivalence. The Fire and Ice, the popular poem by the Robert Frost, is discuss the end of the world, liking the element of force of use the fire within the emotion of the desire and ice with the hate. The poem written a single nine-line stanza which is genuinely narrow. In the last two lines, the poem matter irregular mix of iambic treatment of D meter in the rhyme A B B A B C B C C of the cloud of the poem, the characterization of the sudden occurrence of the memory, the daffodils, the flash upon the inward eyes, which is the bliss of the solitude. It the speaker of metaphorical compared to a nature object, clouds. I wondered lonely clouds that are floating of high, and the daffodils are continually personified human beings dancing, and the tallest their head, the cloud, a cloud of a host. These technical implies inherent unity between man and human. In the poem, the man sent the message of the natural beauty with the mixed happiness and loneliness. In the Ice and Fire and Ice poem is the speaker is two different sections for the end of the world, and some people think the world live and is fire, and the speaker brings to related the when come to the how world end for the example of the Oriental world ending the fire clouds be the something like the estimated that mostly like destroy the denoise. Ice cloud relate to the future ices or the distribution of the sun and the nuclearistic ends of the world. In the poem, message of the metaphor for human precautions of the desire and hatred. This is my citation.
Okay, Chanvi, what is the difference in their approach towards nature? Wordsworth and Frost difference between for the approach towards nature.
Is the difference with the Wordsworth and Faust approach toward the nature. The Wordsworth, like the nature elements, use the all nature like rivers, clouds, trees, and etc. And the force use the only not only the nature related elements. We use only the person like person. The person work is nature related. So I think not proper this answer.
What is pantheism in Wordsworth poetry?
Uh, I'm not sure about this answer, but I think the pantheism was to related in the nature and his rational about the view of nature.